Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Now, tonight, the few issues that we're going to take up tonight, from the issue of the judiciary to security to political party matters, and in fact, 2003 election and the choice before Nigerians. Tonight, I'm being joined by the Executive Governor of Ondo State, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, who joins us virtually live from Akure, the Ondo State capital. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight. Let me get a quick update from you on the situation, the sad story. I mean, this is the first time I'm speaking with you. I must commiserate with the people of Ondo State and our people over the attack on the Catholic Church the other day. And let's get talking from that moment. I mean, I know that you've given an order that all public and private institutions must now install CCTV. What is the latest as far as investigations are concerned and the situation? What more do we know as far as that attack on that Catholic Church in Owo is concerned?
Thank you. As I've said over and over, that was an incident that one want to put behind him, but I know this cannot go quickly. We are still on the track of the perpetrators, and we are yet seriously to make serious headway, and that is for many reasons. These people usually disappear into forests, and from there migrate to other states, and a number of times also it's very difficult for competent hands in the security to pursue them to other states outside their own area of operation. So, like our security outfit, like Amotekun, will not go to Edo. Maybe if we were migrating between Ekiti and Osun, we can have a working relationship that will all go together. But we are still on their trail, and hopefully we'll still get them.
I mean, we understand that there was an arrest made by Amotekun Corps in Ondo State. What is the latest on that? Has that been worked upon? Is there any prosecution? Have they been handed to the police?
Well, no. Amotekun, I listened to the commander of Amotekun. There was no time he made categorical statement about arrest. What he said was very clear, that they were on the trail of the perpetrators, and they virtually got one of the vehicles they used and some telephone, which they have handed over to the SSS for analysis, and they know what to do with the telephone and who to contact or screen the phone. This is the best we have for now, and there was never a time he said they made arrests. It was very clear as to what happened, that they were on the trail, they ran, they found out that they abandoned a vehicle, and the vehicle was shown to the public, and that they had evidence here and there, and this was handed over to SSS to carry out the required analysis and follow-up. This is the best I can say for now.
Give us an understanding, because from the trail of these dangerous and very despicable men who carried out this attack, of course, it's perhaps going to be easy to at least know from where they went from the Catholic Church, and perhaps how their motorcycles or vehicles they used for the attack, where it went, and how, I mean, their exit point. What more can you tell us as far as that concerned? Because the federal government had come to say it was done by ISWAP. But I mean, we've also heard from governors from the Southwest to say that is speculative.
Well, I mean, I reacted to that almost immediately because I had asked, what evidence do they have? It's important for you to let us know because they were too quick. The security agents were too quick to jump to that conclusion that it was done by ISWAP. But whatever it is, we stand by the position that it's a trilogy that is operating in our forests and causing havoc. You just have Fulani herdsmen right in front, followed by these bandits, and again, ISWAP. So the three of them work together and they work separately. So we are not people who will buy the idea that maybe it's ISWAP or is the bandits or terrorists or is Fulani herdsmen. We have been facing, at least in Ondo State, we have faced terrorism from the three, whether they are bandits or Fulani herdsmen of ISWAP, they work together. So I don't know how you want to separate them. I don't know, except you have concrete evidence to say, and our contention is that ISWAP, most times, if not all the time, they take responsibility for the action. So when they do things, they say, we have done it. They take pride in what is on this heinous crime. So I expect that if ISWAP has done this all this while, it will have come up and own up. But some of us have our fears that it's not ISWAP, and we do not agree with that position because the security agents were just too quick to jump as ISWAP. And we believe that it's a trilogy that is running circle around us here on security matters, and we just have to work at all of them together.
This is not the first time that the attention of leaders in the Southwest have been drawn to the security situation around the forests and the bushes of the Southwest region. In fact, Afenifere as an organization has raised the alarm. There are infiltration. You have also said it. And there was a time that you sent out a strong warning to those who are operating illegally in the forest. And there are contestation over the laws that are guiding our forest. And which you made very clear as a senior advocate of Nigeria, your position on the operation of persons who are not licensed to operate in the forest. But can you tell us, Governor Akeredolu, tonight, are the forests in the Southwest region now be preoccupied or being taken over by these elements, these dangerous terrorist elements?
Well, I mean, we do not want to fight shy of saying the truth all the time. We know of the fact that we have vast, very vast forests. And unfortunately, these elements you refer to, these terrorists or the trilogy, they occupy these forests. Some claim in search of fertile area to feed their herds. But if you want to feed your herds, you do not have to carry an AK-47. And if there is rustling and somebody has taken away your herds, it's not for you to resort to criminality. These are the things we are saying is happening, and we know it. But no doubt, because of the vastness of our forest reserve, we know that they are able to hibernate.
There seems to be a frozen frame of the connection with Governor Akeredolu. I'm very sure that that will unfreeze any moment and we'll be able to hear Governor Akeredolu again. So, Governor, the connection is true now, you can continue.
It's taking us, and it's going to take us time to clear the forest. But if you don't have state police as we don't have now, and we are not in control of the security apparatus, we are going to continue to run into problems. This is the problem we're having.
So, what lessons from what has happened in Owo up onto the circumstances and what you and your colleagues in the Southwest, the alarm that you have raised over the years, what lessons are you taking away from the incident of the past days?
Well, the incidents of past almost a month now, because it happened on the 5th, and this is the 4th of July. So it's almost a month. It happened on the 5th of June. Now, what we have learned really is that we must now take security more seriously. And in doing that, that one had led to us issuing the executive order on CCTV in all public gatherings, churches, mosques, supermarkets, and everywhere. And I said, everybody must ensure that you have security men both at the where ingress and egress of any public place. Those when coming in and when coming out, you must have security guards there. It doesn't cost that much to maintain security guards. Now, and we have called on our traditional rulers that, look, we must all be ready to rise up to defend our land and defend our people. And what do I mean by that? And what I really mean by that is that, look, you don't fold your hand and say, people are coming and you are running away. No. If they bring a fight to you, then fight them back. There's no way to run away from it. And that's why when I had my brother in Zamfara, who said people should carry arms, not license people to carry arms, well, it might be to a bit of extreme measure. But when you are pushed to the wall, there's nothing else you can say. So what we have learned really is that our people cannot afford to stay back or lay back as if you are lazy people. We are not lazy. We are indomitable people in spirit and in everything, and nobody can dominate us. So when we believe that and strongly act that, fight these people back. If they come, push them inside of the forest, and if whosoever has the higher hand will survive. So for us, one of the things we have learned is that we have to be careful about those who are around us, and we have to be alert. If people are very alert, no doubt, people will see strange people moving on the street, and you can quickly deduce what they're after. So people have to be very alert, and when incidents like this happen, don't run into your house. Go ahead and confront it. Yes, people might lose their lives, which is unfortunate, but if you confront it, hardly will they go away. They cannot get out of it. So we have learned a few things, and for instance, we are trying to at least increase the number of men in Amotekun, and we just have to, we have no option, and have them with more vehicles and have more patrol on every street, particularly Sundays, Fridays, when times of worship are near supermarkets and co. We have more people patrolling. So those are the things we are trying to do. Those are the lessons we have learned, that we cannot afford to run away. We must be prepared to confront this challenge. It's a big challenge. Government will try its best, but people, that's why we told our obas, the people must come out. You cannot run away and say you are afraid. It's criminal. It will be criminal for you to run away and say you are afraid. To me, it's cowardice. We cannot afford that.
For some of us who have rural living experience and how the local communities operate under the leadership of the traditional rulers, the Obas in the Yoruba land and the southwest region of the country, or some Yoruba-speaking communities in the north-central region of the country, there are, in fact, chiefs who are in charge of security. Some of them are called Ashikpa. Some of them are called different names. They are in charge of the security arm of the rulership. So when we wonder, you're speaking directly to these people, but in what area are you thinking of arming these people? Because they're going to be faced with the firepower of this criminal element, who we understand are being funded and are being supported, and they are heavily armed. These are the kind of people that our military and security agencies been fighting for the last several years. So the question is, are you arming them? What are the defense mechanisms that this traditional rulership or the traditional communities are going to have to defend themselves?
Sheung, let me tell you, we do know the limitations of the traditional council or the others or the towns, even the limitations of Amotekun, that is the around security agency. We know there are limitations which have been imposed by a pervert federalism. And some of us are saying that something is definitely wrong with the federalism we are running. We must be prepared to face up to it. We cannot, for instance, operate one command and say a police command that has its command right in Abuja can police this country very well. It is not possible. Let us be fair to ourselves. So why don't we work? I knew that the National Assembly tried. I don't know what happened. It failed. Why don't we work at having state police? And the state police, in that wise, will be properly armed. The state will have no option to ensure that they are armed. Now, we have the security network, the Western Regional Security Network, which is Amotekun. And limitations have been put on our way that, okay, prohibited ammunitions, they cannot carry. Otherwise, those who are coming to attack us are even carrying more than prohibited. They are carrying military ammunitions, so powerful. So, but in spite of that, because of courage, because, as I said, those of us from this part of the country are not afraid. Because of our courage, our people are ready, even with their bare hand, to face them. Whatever happens, they will still confront them. So now, thinking about equipping the traditional forces or we call Ashipa, whatever name you call them, thinking about equipping them is not something we can say now because it's not easy. But we believe that they still have some powers, whatever you want, whatever we like, we call it. Even if they are going with a shakabula, we call it shakabula, and they will still be able to confront them. It's not for us because we don't have the same ammunition. So we run into our rooms and they come or go into the churches or go into the mosque and wait for them to come and kill us there. No, we will confront them in that forest. And whatever we use is not for us to discuss here in the open. We will confront them.
That sounds like some words of courage there against and resistance against these very terrible human beings who have lost their souls to the devil. But I know your colleague governor from Zamfara State has said people should carry arms, but I'd like to get, we're talking to a senior advocate of Nigeria. Under Nigerian laws, what do you make of this statement? And you are also being pushed to the wall in some way, and you are now saying people should stand up against these people. Do we get to the point that, now you've said that whatever it demands or whatever you have or your people have, we use in confronting these people. Under the law, what do you make about arming people, Nigerians, getting registered arms against these elements?
Well, under the law, I know that it's a bit restrictive, and we are restricted because we are running, as I said, a pervert federalism. This is not the way it's done. It's not the way. And it's not for the states to be castrate and totally powerless the way things are now. But you see, when you now talk about getting your people armed, these are arms and ammunition you have to get a license to hold. My brother in Matawale in Zamfara said the commissioner of police should issue license. The commissioner of police is not that simple. He cannot just give license out. Those who had some measure of ammunition, some time passed, they asked them to bring it back to the police station. The licenses were withdrawn. So how many people the commissioner of police even is restricted in the manner of ammunition he could even issue license for? At times you have to get to the NSA and get his approval to issue licenses. So I said, what we have now, when the challenges you have faced, if care is not taken, Just as those who are fighting us are how they get their ammunition, nobody is so clear. If care is not taken, the governors and some governments will be forced to also adopt that means and get ammunition for their people to fight them back, because there is no other way to solve this problem. There's no other way.
I mean,
if
Governor Akeredolu, yeah, I mean, you are a governor, you understand some of this problem. You being as a member of the inner bar, you understand the problems of our law. But what could be the solution? It does look like the nation itself is being pushed to the wall, and it does look like the state is also more or less powerless in the face of this challenge. How do we get out of it? What is the immediate solution that we need to be seeking right now?
So that's all I said. I said it that the state is castrated. The state is totally powerless, totally. And for me, there's no solution to this except we get our priorities right. What we should prioritize as a nation today is state police. And let the state police be well armed. The state will have to spend a lot of their money in harming their own police. And they have a duty to protect their people. It's the only solution. How else do we solve this? Let us be fair to ourselves. How else? So we will be here, we'll run a security outfit. They can't carry some arms and ammunition. So how do you defend yourself? How? And as you know, people will tell you, Amotekun has been doing some serious work all over the Western Nigeria. We are trying, but the point is that it will have been more effective if, for instance, they can carry no matter, and there's no limit to the arms and ammunition they can carry. And the only way is for us to get this law out of place. The people in the National Assembly and Co. they have a duty to do it, and it's the only way we can protect ourselves. The police today is overstretched for now. They don't have men, they don't have ammunition, they have no vehicles, they have nothing. Every other thing the state must provide. So, and you provide is not enough. So what are we doing? So that's where I see it. There is no other solution. Let's be fair to ourselves. State police is one of the things we must pursue now so that we can get where we are going.
All right. Stay with me, Governor Akeredolu, because we're not yet done with our conversation with you. We'll take a break now, and when we come back, there are a lot more to talk with Governor Akeredolu. And of course, later on, after the conversation with the Executive Governor of Ondo State, we will be speaking with the President of ASU on the lingering strike. The students are being home. How do we end these face-off with the federal government? Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. So much, everyone, for staying with us. The Executive Governor of Ondo State, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, has been speaking with us before we went on that break. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for staying with us on the program. Let me take you into party matters.
My great pleasure.
Just recently, the presidential candidate of your party, former Governor of Lagos State, Bola Tinubu, said he's still in search of a running mate. And the question will be, how difficult is it to find a running mate? Perhaps for those who are saying, who are debating already, that a religious balancing and consideration has to be made. A Muslim ticket might not be appropriate at this time. What are your thoughts?
Well, the first question you ask is, how difficult? I ran election. Until I ran twice, and I can confess here that I made the wrong choice of the deputy the first time. So that has shown me that it's a difficult thing to pick the right person to run with. It's something that you must give a thought to, and a number of times you want to involve your party. You want to listen to everybody before you take a final decision. I don't believe it's something you jump at readily and say, yes, I've picked a vice president, that somebody that I will work with. So it's a very difficult thing. I I remember my last election when I won the primaries. A number of people came and even at the hierarchy of the party and said, "Oh, we have to pick them." I said, "You will pick deputy for me, sir. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. The one I picked, I have a lot of regret. So why don't I now make this other one? Nobody will pick for me." So I know that our presidential candidate is something he must take very seriously, because a number of factors are to be considered. And the factors are the ones you have mentioned. A number of people are there talking about, oh, you must run a Muslim-Christian ticket. A number of people have come, it could be a Muslim, it will be tolerable. So there are a lot of factors to be considered. So I do not see any reason why it should be in a rush. There's a time limit by 17th or so, or before 17th or so. I don't know what time the INEC has said. So why don't you take your time and make the right choice so that you don't regret it? It's not something you can do all the time. If you make the choice now before the close of time, then that's your choice. You can't change it again. So I believe it's not something that you take lightly. It's something that you must consult, something you will yourself debate, something at times you take to your whatever you believe to God, to Allah, to anybody you want to take to for guidance. And I believe that that is what he's trying to do. There's nothing wrong in it.
So, I mean, in your own thinking now, for those who have said, I remember the first time you wanted to be governor of Ondo State, a lot of people said, oh, he's an outsider. He's been a lawyer all his life. You failed it the first time, then you came back and you won. So you are an experienced politician as much as anyone wants to debate. So in your own thinking, Governor Akeredolu, what do you think Asiwaju Bola Tinubu must consider right now to get it right, considering the present political temperature, the present national temperature, and of course, the issue of competition amongst the other competitors on the ground that will be on the bill?
Well, you have said it. I want to say the circumstance in which Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has found himself now, there's a mayor of what I would call ground wetting. For instance, he will not pick from the south. So he's left to make a choice from the north. Because he's from the south, he won't pick from the south. That means he won't pick from southeast. And because he's from southwest, he has to pick from the north. And you see, when you look at the north, a lot of factors will have to come into play. Some will say, you can pick from northwest. Others will say about northwest. That's where the president now is from. So would they have a second bite, whether as rice or as anything? Some will argue, why don't you pick from northeast? That's a factor to be considered. Others can argue, but why don't you pick from north central? Then the factor to be considered is, okay, where do you get votes? So many factors. I mean, as you said, I ran an election twice, and the 2 times I ran, this is my second time of winning. The first one that I lost, this other one that I won. My contention was very clear. Now look, when you look at all these factors, you must be clear in your mind what you want to do. I came from a central district in the north. I was determined to pick, and the 2 times I won, the 3 elections I ran, I picked my deputy from the south, south and central district. So in this circumstance now, our leader probably is left with north central and northeast, probably. But I know anything, so many factors can come to play. So in determining who you pick, at the end of the day, you want to look at loyalty. Will this person be loyal, or will he be there to undermine you? Those are issues you have to consider. very seriously, particularly those of us who have gone through, who have had such bitter experience with deputies that at the end of the day decide to undermine you. You will know that, look, it's a serious sin when you get to a point in which somebody you have trusted decided to betray you. It's not an easy thing. So those are the factors you have to consider. And when people talk about whether it's Muslim, Christian, here and there, you don't know, you must consider the person running for that election. What would be his own benefit? Or who do you think would benefit him more? So for me as a person, where we are now with Akeredolu Bola Ahmed Tinubu is for him to personally take a decision whom he can trust, and all of us to give him support. That's all.
All right. On a final note, and quickly, Governor, as a member of the inner bar, the circumstance to the exit of the CJN, Honorable Justice Tanko Muhammad, and the coming of Honorable Justice Ariwola, of course, we understand that those circumstances and the reasons being given, but are you worried about what became an unusual voicing out of frustration of the Honorable Justices of the Supreme Court in the protest, and what this means for our judiciary? We just have about 60 seconds to the end of this conversation, if you may intervene quickly.
Thank you. So I take this issue, what happened in America. For the first time in the history of the Supreme Court, the judgment of the Supreme Court leaked on ways and rule. So a number of circumstances can give rise to, things that you say are abnormal. So if judges or justices have to voice their mind out, and my understanding really is that the way they did it was to consult with the former Chief Justice of Nigeria. It was not they never made it public. And I think the mistake came from the former Chief Justice, who now thought maybe the best form of defense attack. And they now gave to people to write on letters that were made personal to you by your colleagues. His colleagues, it can say, and I'm saying so because I know of a fact that the justices of the Supreme Court at no time made this thing public. It was made public, unfortunately, by the former, or by aides to the former CJN, Chief Justice of Nigeria, who took advantage of his position. And I want to say with all respect to him and to others, they took advantage of his state of health. And all of us have always been saying so that, look, we're not too sure what is happening here. What is happening here to my Lord Chief Justice? So they took advantage of his state of health, and unfortunately, he blew out. And the circumstances that led to his going is for the benefit of the judiciary and for his own benefit too. So I don't see, yes, judges, justices are to be seen and not heard. Yes, they did go to the press to go and make an announcement. So if somebody has now decided to make an announcement of what his colleagues discussed with him or his colleagues wrote to him, then he is the one to take whatever came out of it.
Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, always a pleasure talking to you. I still have a lot more to talk about. We are bothered about this ASU matter, and I need to speak with the ASU president tonight. But thank you so much, Governor Akeredolu, for talking to us tonight. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure always. My pleasure always, Chimo. My pleasure.